Okay, so it says I'm live. All right, all right. I'm supposed to be live. We'll see if somebody joins us. Let me check my phone. All right, lock that. Okay, okay, okay. Mm, okay, all right. Okay, hello, you can hear me. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Can you see me? That's the question. Let me know if you can see me. Okay, excellent, excellent. Okay, so we're gonna give it a few minutes, and luckily earlier today, I feel like I caught wind of something, and earlier today, something told me because I had been evaluating different providers, right, for streaming because I could see the inconsistency that was starting to happen with YouTube. Now, see, YouTube is free, but it's cool, and I've used other platforms, but they didn't have the moderation tool. And as we're beginning to grow, we need the moderator tool. So I was just hanging out with YouTube for the moderation tool. And now I found a service yesterday, and I was trying it out last night, and I tested it again today. I was actually live earlier today. In fact, the Egyptian queen must have popped up, and I don't think she knew I was live because I had it unlisted, meaning nobody could see it while I test out this software. And I noticed when I set up my stream on their platform, it kicked out the one we already had set up about Shedeur. So I had to do a whole lot of finagling to try to get it back the way it was. So, but I really do think we switched four different routers with just the YouTube direct to YouTube platform, and it did not work. I hit the button one time over here and it worked. So it looks like we're gonna be on this platform. I can't even see what it looks like. So, you know, it's in development. So if it don't look good or you don't see something like what I see the chat. I see y'all still have your moderator capability. Charlotte, is that Tina, Gracie, all y'all moderator tools are there. Um, so I do see the live chat. So anyway, earlier today, so now that we know I was not attacked, earlier today, let me tell y'all what happened. So y'all know how was it last week we did a story on Terrell Pryor, right? And it was a part of our series. And I Terrell Pryor, out of everybody we did, not obviously Joe Gilliam because he passed, but I could have emailed Vince Young, but I didn't. I could have DM'd Vince Young. I could have DM'd Michael Vick. I could have DM'd Dante Culpepper, etc. But something told me to send the video to Terrell Pryor. And I sent it to him and I said, I hope he like it, yada, yada, yada. And I didn't hear back, but I didn't expect to. And that video got 500 views that because it was a live stream. And I still have to do like the video part of it. And I just haven't done it yet. And I'm glad I did not because I actually plan to change the thumbnail, etc. So since we've been doing this series, I've been posting like posts after we do somebody, I post Vince Young. After we preview somebody, I post Joe Gilliam. I also posted Terrell Pryor, right? And y'all know what we were talking about. We were talking about what his career, how he was a star, just like Vince Young, but a star at Ohio State, hands down. Two-way star, could have played basketball, could have played what? Football. And then chose football. And then what happened? They drafted him. And then what? He was a quarterback. He balled out. Then they benched him for who? Undrafted free agent. And we like, see, that's what Shadeur going through right now. They devalue him, basically putting somebody in front of him that's not that good, right? And today on my IG feed, I saw a post and it was the NFL. They look like they tagged Terrell Pryor and somebody else, and I didn't look at it. So guess what they did? They put out a video, a short, like a reel. Um, they put like a reel that essentially said, this is Terrell Pryor, and he had like 1,000 passing yards as a receiver. So they decided to, out the blue, put Terrell Pryor out here in his Cleveland Browns uniform. He played for 6 different teams. His best season was with the Raiders, but for some reason, they want to show him as a wide receiver. And to the members earlier, I sent them a message. I said, guess who decided to post about Terrell Pryor today? And everybody in the comments was talking about how great he was. But guess what they were also talking about? How he was a damn good quarterback. And the NFL didn't mention that what happened. They just said after Terrell Pryor switches, no, Terrell Pryor gains like 1,097 yards after he switches to wide receiver. It no mention of what happened to him at quarterback or why he had to switch to wide receiver. And I thought it was interesting they profiled him in Cleveland and not with the Raiders when he was a QB. And people were saying that in the comments, like, that's crazy. Why you didn't put because he had like a 94, 96 yard touchdown as a quarterback, right? And everybody's talking about how good he is, this, that, and the other. So I'm like, now what makes them want to all of a sudden decide to start profiling people? And I didn't want y'all to think anything when I couldn't get on. It's just, I think, in my opinion, I think YouTube is trying to, they might start charging for their streaming service. It wouldn't surprise me because they have a lot of people streaming for free. And at one time, this is a busy time of day. So essentially, I had already found another provider. I had already set it up. I tested it earlier. So all I had to do, I was like, I'll just catch y'all later. Because I didn't know. I'm like, well, if I went through 4 routers and couldn't get on directly to YouTube, coming through a third party, you'd think it would be harder like that. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just a lot of people trying to stream all at the same time because it said it's busy. It said it can't live stream right now. So I came over here, already had it set up, just, had to make sure nothing changed because, again, this is new to me. And it's just new software. And then, what? I'm here. So we're going to be here. And actually, I was going to have a separate live stream after the YouTube live stream to test this platform out. But they kicked us out. We couldn't get on, so we over here now. So, I'm glad y'all found us. Make sure you keep your notifications on because you just never know. I like what they have to offer, so if as long as the moderator tools are there, as long as y'all can see me, you can hear me, I can see the chat just like before, that's good. So this is my probably third service that I've tried. And a lot of these services are growing. Y'all got to understand that they're growing. Like, we had the one where I could see y'all's chat on the screen, and then they have some that put alerts up, like when people subscribe or people become members or this, that, and the other. So it's just a whole lot of stuff to check out. So I'm just glad I already had it set up good to go. I was able to hop over here. So it just basically, in my opinion, I don't feel like no harm, no foul. I just think it just means just stick with this because I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I've never had that type of buffering. We switched through 4 routers and it just wasn't letting up. But with a third party, it worked. And to me, as somebody that's in the tech business, I told you I was an executive, right? I feel like they might be getting ready to start charging for their services. That's just what I see. So, it is what it is. So I'm over here. Let me see who's in the chat and then we're gonna get going. Hey Charlotte, how you doing? Glad you found us. Hey Miss Pamela, glad you found us. Oh, yep. Hey, how you doing, Tina? Yep, we already had a backup good to go for after the YouTube live stream, but that did work, so we over here now. What you say, and y'all let me know if y'all see the issues too. What you say, how you doing? Welcome back. Of course, Charlotte, of course, Gracie. Make sure y'all hit the like button for me. It's telling me that there are 42 viewers. I can't see how many likes. I probably got to set that up. So y'all let me know. Moderators, please hold it down for me on that. Hey, Kiel, how you doing? As a former streamer, Ghost of Nessa, as a former streamer, may I suggest StreamYards or ODS? Right. And we already had StreamYards, but they wouldn't let us. They just updated. But they wouldn't let me, like, show y'all's, like, share the comments with everybody. So I left them and went to Restream. And I like Restream. That's the one. I don't know if y'all remember when I was showing the intro with how should I say it, with Alabama State. I was on Restream and it was cool. It was cool, but it didn't have the moderator capability. So, without me sitting and, I mean, this is what you got to do. Like I said, I've been in tech for a long time. So somebody else, they would have had to go and figure something out. I had already put it together and it was just sitting there waiting in queue. And I was like, I just do a separate live stream to test it out. And I tested it earlier and I was like, okay, it works. The only thing that did make sense to me was if I had already scheduled the one that we were trying to get on, it looked like it kicked it out. And I was like, well, maybe it just kind of caused the problem. But they came right over here and it worked out. So Miss Paula, damage control. Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. Oh, you talking about, yeah. See, I told y'all they were getting their ducks in a row. I told y'all they were getting their ducks in a row. And when I saw that story on Terrell Pryor, I was like, now, because people like, your channel's starting to get a lot of buzz. Y'all know we have, is it 50,000 hours of views? We have over 500,000 views. Uh, so it's possible. It's possible because that last video that I did, where I talked about, because what I do is I do a live stream, but then I take and put like supporting material in a video and drop some of the live stream as a video, and people love that one. They like you are on these people's necks. Because I put a picture like of the plantation burning, the plantation in Louisiana that's burning. And I also put a snippet from the lawsuit, the $1 billion lawsuit for race norming, because that's what I see happening. Starting with that in 2021, where they're being exposed for race norming. And then with the 2025 draft, with how they treated Shedeur, I just feel like they desperate and they on fire. So when I was doing my research for this show yesterday and day before yesterday, I found what I had been looking for, what I had been telling y'all since we started talking about this, that 2024, people knew that this year was the year. So let me see if I can share it. I had it queued up to go. But again, I don't know my way around here that well, so it might not pop up. So let me see if it does. All right, let me know if y'all see anything else other than, because it should be on the screen, but I don't see it, so I don't know. Maybe it didn't do it. Well, let me just tell you about it, and I'll probably put it in the video, and we can watch it there when it releases. Okay, I told y'all I wondered, since Coach Pryor was in the league, 1989, right, to 2005. I went back. I wondered what was the climate? What was it like for QBs? Y'all know we did Gilliam, you did everybody, Warren Moon, we did the people in the 70s, we did Dante Culpepper in the 90s, right? But Coach Prime was 89, so after the 70s, and 2005. So before like 2010 and all these guys. So when Coach Prime was in the league, the QBs were like the Joe Montanas of the world, right? And everybody, for the most part, was white except for one person, uh, Donovan McNabb. So if there were 12 quarterbacks with the late 90s, the early 2000s, meaning Coach Prime was 89 to 2005, it was just Donovan McNabb as starters. We're talking about starters here and people that were labeled the best. So out of 11, only one was black. And then what I began to notice when I started to look, I started to go up. I said, okay, that's to 2005. Let me look at like 2010. Let me look at 2010 to 2019. So what I began to notice with that era is Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, then you got Geno Smith and Tyrod Taylor, right? So it begins to slightly change, right? And what I began to notice is instead of asking just who the best quarterbacks were, they began to rank the starters. So they began to, as the league began to diversify and brown, they began to separate. Instead of telling me the best quarterbacks, now I'm telling you who the best starters are. So starters are very important, right? We know the quarterback is key, but we know the QB1 is him, the face of the team, the face of the franchise, could be the face of the league depending on who it is. And then I noticed that when you get around 2020 and when you get to like 2023, 24, instead of like it was when Coach Pryor was in the league, 11 QBs, one is black, it's about to flip the other way. And I found the stories that I was looking for that said in 2024, the NFL broke a record where black quarterbacks were concerned. A record was broken where black quarterbacks was concerned for the first time ever. There were 15 black starting quarterbacks. That's in 2024. We just got to the 2025 draft. So that meant I was spot on. That meant Cam was 16, Shedeur was 17, and Milroe 18. So if they put that together in 2024, right? You telling me the record is broken at the beginning of the season is 15 black quarterbacks. The season starts in August. That meant before the Super Bowl in Las Vegas in 2024, they knew exactly what was going down in the 2025 NFL draft. They knew that the elite black QBs coming out of this draft were going to be what? The majority. And guess who is the chosen one? Shedeur. Not Cam, not Milroe. Milroe's 18. You don't need 18 for the majority. The majority is 17. And then Cam was just 16. So it's like, you know, and when you read it, it shows you that the record has gone back and forth so many different times that people are well aware of this. So let me ask y'all this question. Why didn't you hear about this on any platform? Oh, historically, black quarterbacks have really made gains in the NFL that in the 2025 draft, the one we're getting ready to watch right now, the second quarterback to be taken will become the majority, that will make black quarterbacks the majority of the starters. You didn't hear nothing like that. And they've been doing this since 2024 down pat, since the beginning of the season in 2024. So yes, I now believe that when they went back to Charles Woodson, are you still interested? Come over here. I mean, he said it. They just rushed it all through. Come over here, meet the owner of the Cleveland Browns. They knew exactly what they were going to do. But the question is, did they know who they were going to do it to? See, because when the Super Bowl ended in 2024, I mean, it was around what, January 2024, February 2024, the next class hadn't been set for college yet. Or is that 2025? That's 2024. So the next class hadn't been set for college yet, right? So we talking February 24th. Now we pushing on August, right? So they already knew. See, I told you I knew, and it's documented, and they talk about it in the article, but they don't ever talk about it on TV. And that is exactly why Shedeur Sanders was pushed out of the first round. And then the excuse came in, the collusion. Take that and title so and so off the board. Nobody in their right mind, when given any type of evaluation about a person's character by 4 different people, listens to the only negative one, unless that's what you want to do. And that's what they did. So here's where we are now. So yeah, people saw Jackson Dart dancing, but they also saw his stats and, stories saying that the Giants regret Dart. Here's the thing. Do they really? Because they knew who he was. Said, I knew. I told y'all, it said it. It said it. It said Jackson Dart hit his ceiling in the Senior Bowl. But see, they worked so hard to disparage Milroe so they could get Dart right to where they want him. So here's the question. Who really was behind Dart out of Ole Miss going to the Giants? Is it somebody with a connection, a family, a lineage to the Giants and Ole Miss? Was it the GM because his daughter go there? So yeah, I'm in on it too, and this will help me keep my job. So if we defame Shedeur, nobody won't think anything because we'll just say he trashed. Okay, Shedeur was not born the day of the draft. He already has a history, but they truly believed if they disparage and defame him that it would stick, and it's not sticking. Here's where we are right now. I got one comment that says, what you said, it's becoming apparent because there's a show happening in Cleveland, and apparently this came from ESPN, where they're talking about trying to get Kirk Cousins with the Browns, and somebody asked the question, why y'all keep getting these old guys like that, right? And they say, you know what you said is true. They are trying everything they can to keep Shedeur Sanders out of the QB1 spot, right? Because now that I unearthed the article, and I'm just gonna have to put it in the video, I was spot on. Shedeur Sanders is number 17. Cam is 16, and Milroe is 18. That's why you never heard about Milroe. That's why they don't really talk about Cam. And I think they starting to hear the chatter that you don't talk about Cam. I think they're gonna start talking about Cam to try to push Shedeur out the way. That's not gonna happen. Because what? I said Shedeur has motion. And what he has, they didn't give him. So you can't take it. And you clearly can't stop him from being drafted. So you can't smother his motion because they're not your people. He's considered a leader on and off the field. You can't disrupt what you did not create. They can't even keep Travis from dancing. And for fans that are upset about that, I'm starting to think they just don't want to see these black players happy because that's crazy. Travis balled out in OTAs, and Jacksonville fans talking about they're worried about Travis. You better be worried about Trevor. That's who you better be worried about because that's y'all problem right there. And honestly, if Travis end up getting hurt due to Trevor's, lack of consistent, exceptional play, it's gonna be a problem because he's there till 2030 with apparently no trade clause. So I was spot on. I hate that y'all can't see it, but okay, that's okay. I'll just make a video. Um, and you know, just share it with y'all that way. And other people will get to see it too. But let me just make a church announcement. So even before what just happened on YouTube, um, I had already decided since we now have our 13th or 15th member, welcome Jackie, Priscilla, and let me get her name right, Nalavia. Like it's like Natalie and almost like Olivia a little bit together. So guess what we get ready to do? Become a member because we get ready to start private live stream. So I have been wanting to get to this point. We're gonna have at least one private live stream. I'm gonna work with the members and ask them basically, when do you think is a good time for us to all get together and have private conversation? That we can at some point make public, but we don't have to. Just like I have members only videos that are not released to the public and stuff like that. So that's the church announcement. So I'll be reaching out to the members to ask them that. But as far as Shadeur is concerned, it seemed like everybody went back home. Shadeur was live today. I didn't get to see it. I took the day to just kind of like familiarize myself with this software and or with this streaming service. And I like the fact that, I think we have another option because I don't think YouTube gonna work for us. Like I said, I think YouTube get ready to make a move. But with Shadeur, that's exactly what it is. And and now people are starting to see it. So now I'm starting to see people say things like, last week the message was he's not a fifth string QB. Now the question is, people are trying to prove he really was a first rounder. But what happened? That's where we are going into the week. I'm just on the other end of the end zone, waiting for them to realize and say out loud the part they don't want to say out loud because they want to go to the Super Bowl this year. They don't want to say what it is. He was number 17. And why is that a problem? Divide 32 and a half. And there's your answer. So now I put on the thumbnail, I put 17 to 32, or I just put number 17, QB1, number 17, because that's what it is. And he's the chosen one. It could have been Cam, but then what would I say? What would I say about Cam when he was supposed to be what? Number one in terms of yards and whatnot, and people insist he was the best QB in the draft? What am I going to say to one, lock him out of the number one spot? And then what am I going to say to use as an excuse to collude against him and take him off the board while teams pass him up 6 times? What am I going to say about Cam? Nothing. He don't have a daddy that I can lie on. And he the number one quarterback in college and nobody's going to buy it. So what is it that I can say about Milroe? You can say a lot of stuff, but after he ran that 4.37 and he balled out at his pro day in Alabama, and they really wanted Jackson Dart in front of him, they didn't talk about him because then people will be like, well, why is Dart in front of him? Because he went to a SEC title game under Nick Saban's Alabama. That's why they didn't talk about him at all. Well, let's just not mention it and nobody will notice it. That's what they did. That's why they didn't talk about him. And he had one of the best agents out here, Nicole Lynn, who's Sportswoman of the Year. And that didn't help because it wasn't supposed to. He could have just not had anybody because they weren't going to change a thing about him, because I don't even know if he knows that not only were they holding him back in the damn draft, they were holding him back in college. And they scapegoated the hell out of him and fired their OC quietly for what? Lack of QB development and poor play calling. Just like in that Oklahoma game. They set him up in college. And they disregarded him in the draft because they didn't want anybody to say what they said at his pro day. You know, his comp is Lamar Jackson, and we actually think he's more athletic than Lamar Jackson. And I already read with my own 2 eyes, his comp is actually Michael Vick. You know, if they would have said that out loud, people would have been like, wait, what? Who do you know is a Michael Vick comp? Maybe Lamar Jackson? And they think Milroe is better than Jackson and he run a 4.37 and he a Michael Vick comp and they don't talk about him? That ought to be all the evidence you need. They wanted to do like this. We don't see him over there. They didn't mention him because they didn't want to have to talk about his profile. They didn't want to have to talk about the truth about his comps. They didn't want to talk about the OC getting fired and him getting scapegoated. They set him up in college because they knew when he was at Alabama, they wanted Jackson Dart to come out first in the draft to exactly where the hell he went. Milroe was pushed down in the draft too because he's number 18. And see, now with CJ Stroud out, no, he's not out. Anthony Richardson out. Let's be honest, okay? You worry about one person, or really 2. So you put Daniel Jones behind Anthony Richardson, and then you start basically saying Anthony Richardson need to go back to school, this, that, and the other. And now he got a shoulder injury. So you get to have your way with Anthony Richardson out the way. So did you really need to scapegoat Shedeur at all? No. You didn't. You did all that for nothing. Because here's the thing. It's another quarterback out there that's starting that's black. That could go down. You didn't need to scapegoat Milroe either. In fact, you could have drafted all 3. And with Richardson out, that's 1. Cam good. So Richardson, Milroe. If somebody else go out, Shedeur. You ain't have to scapegoat nobody. So all you did was expose yourself. All you did was set your own damn brand on fire for hatred. And that you didn't even have to do. You didn't even have to do it. But you wanted to do it. See, that's the thing. You wanted to do it. And the prank told us that. See, that's why the prank was exposed. Because we needed to see this was not an accident. We needed to see and have it confirmed for us that he was being humiliated. Why? Because if you didn't want him to be number 17 in the draft, why you need to humiliate him too? So you pushed him down and you humiliate him. Why you needed to do both? So you could basically sell to people that you didn't want him, even though he was a good player, because he's not a good person. So you thought he deserved it. That's why they did it. If we make people think he's not a good person, they won't expect us to draft him to the Giants. We never thought she was going to draft him anyway. Newsflash. 17-32, confirmed. That's what the podcast was about on YouTube. So now we over here. And I like it. It's a lot I can do. I just got to take the time to learn it. Um, so I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad, y'all were able to find us. That's why I say turn your notifications on. We will be back tomorrow at 12:30. Now, see, this is what I need you used to. See, on YouTube, I knew how long I was live. Okay, I can see it now. I've been live for 30 minutes. Oh, 76 of us. Yay. Now, I don't know how many likes they are. So the moderators, I'm gonna have to lean on y'all to to make sure we try to get everybody likes up to match 76 viewers. And it's a whole lot of stuff. It's a whole lot of apps. It really is a good platform and it seems to be stable. I can also share my screen, but it didn't work and I don't know. I'm not worried about it right now. I'm just going to take everything that I put together for this podcast and put it in a video form. And of course, y'all will get the notification when the video drop. It could be tonight or tomorrow. As far as Terrell Pryor, my question was, let's see if they profile somebody else. See, we did a lot of people who came, before what, 2015? Because we didn't even do Russell Wilson. So, we did everybody that had a story, and then there's some more people to go, like Briscoe. We're supposed to be doing Cordell Stewart next. Then we're gonna do Briscoe. I already know, so we'll do those two. And what we're going to end up looking to see how long before people, and I think they know. If I know, they know, meaning the media, and they choosing not to talk about it. And now they going on with, let's get Kirk Cousins. If Kirk Cousins failed in Atlanta, even after they held back Michael Penix Jr., why are you sending him to be a QB2 or a QB1 in Cleveland? Now, Shedeur put out, that's how I know he gone. He put out a post that said, "Thank you, God, for an opportunity." So I don't know if he done there or not. He could be. He could be. It was good of him to say that. Thank you for an opportunity. He didn't say the opportunity. Just thank you for an opportunity. So he's thankful he had the opportunity. They still haven't released Shedeur jerseys that all these people bought yet. So I can't see them getting all these orders for these jerseys and then what? Cutting him from the team. I just don't see that. But unless they have a way that if he go to a different team, which I don't think he is, I think he gonna be right there, and I think he gonna end up the starter. Because if Kirk Cousins had an issue in Atlanta, he gonna have one in Cleveland. He's 35 or 36. Everybody is not Tom Brady, and they're trying to get people excited about Aaron Rodgers in Atlanta. I mean, in Philly, was it Pittsburgh, saying, "Oh, he's wearing the number 8." You know what people said? Because that's the number of games he gonna win, 8. They not excited. They not happy. They feel like Aaron Rodgers was forced. And people are also putting out posts, and I don't know how true it is, saying what? That he told Pittsburgh, if you take Shedeur, you can forget about me. I don't know how true that is. But I do feel like he hung back and didn't make a decision about where to go until after the draft. And even with allegations coming out about him, they moving forward like didn't nobody say nothing. And Danica Patrick is pretty reputable as a person. And that's where I would think the NFL would look into it. But and then we got Stephon Diggs. Now this is interesting. So y'all know Stephon Diggs was on the boat with the ladies, right? With the pink powder that looks like Tootsie, right? And Cardi B was supposed to be somewhere around in the bathroom or whatever. Well, now they've been photographed together like they on vacation first. And now she's on the field while he's practicing, taking photos. I said, I see what y'all doing, but it ain't gonna work. You better hope. You better hope. Like did it. The rest of them don't start coming out the closet when they see if they, Cassie was the first one, right? And then what happened? Then it was more. They better hope that that was the first time he ever pulled out some Tootsie in front of some women. He better hope. They better hope that, because you know how that go. And he seemed to take it out like, hey, look what I got. So bringing Cardi into it while I'm sure she's enjoying it. I think she got some new music or something.
Uh, and they have him like he's in a relationship, which they could be, but we also know what he had going on. And that's why people are like, okay. And with them have her on the side on the field, I was like, that's a first. I've never seen that before. I know that they have practices that people can go to, but to have the girlfriend on the field like that, I was like, Travis Hunter's wife gonna be like, hey, did y'all not see me over here? Cause you know, you know, if it can happen, it's gonna happen. But she been quiet. They're probably trying to get a house, and gonna lead them where they at. But yeah. So Stephon Diggs, they just moving. So I guess he still got his guaranteed contract. And see, in situations like that, Aaron Rodgers accused and they moving forward like we supposed to care about his jersey number, like we didn't hear what Danica Patrick said. And then Stephon Diggs, got him out here with his girlfriend on the field taking photos. She's a celebrity. We supposed to be distracted from that pink substance that looked like Tootsie, right? That's not gonna happen. See, that used to work in the days where before camera phones came out and we couldn't see what he had in his hand for ourselves. It was up to them to tell us because they would have never posted a picture of it. They would have just described it and nobody would have known unless you know. Um, so you see how they get down when people actually get in trouble or could get in trouble. But look at how they doing Shedeur, right? And that's where we are this week. Well, why was an elite QB who even the critics have transformed into believers realize without a doubt he is him. They might argue about was he him at Colorado or not, but they know he him right now. They know he's him right now. And with that kind of transformation, haters, critics to believers, I don't see how Cleveland gonna keep Shedeur buried on the back of the depth chart or worse, put him on the practice squad when he's clearly the best QB he has, even better than who? Flacco. And I think Flacco know it too. I saw Shedeur asking him about the dance, and he was like, "Well, I've never done a public dance move in my life." And that just go to show you the youth. He don't want to gravitate towards that. And then he probably looks at Shedeur like his competition because he say he doing what? I'm trying to keep my job as long as I can. But then he laughed a little bit. So you don't really know because you don't know him. But it is just like, and Shedeur is that guy. He's that guy. So I don't know how long they're gonna be able to play this charade game because when the haters become believers, you're gonna have a tough time. When the haters become believers, you are going to have a tough time. Hit the like button for me. There's 80 of us here. Hit the like button for me. You're gonna have a tough time. What you gonna say? They saw for themselves. He good. What you gonna say? And see, the only reason why they sticking to the script because the script is just 17-32. And they're going to try their hardest to keep Milrow out the way, too. They already started. Oh, we're not going to see him this year. How you know who you going to see and who you not going to see? Like, you clairvoyant? So, um, they still at it. They still at it, but I got proof. I already knew, but I found the actual document and I'm going to put it in the video. And it even talks about how, they have been keeping up with this. It even talks about how it switched back and forth over the years. There were 4 times between like 2020 and 2024. I think that's what they said. The majority, was like blacks are gaining for the most part. Black QBs are gaining. So everybody knows. And even the quarterbacks themselves know. Shedeur probably know. Coach Prime probably know. Because look at what the league looked like when he was there. During his era, 11 white, 1 black. And now, when you go top 5, uh, the people that's getting ready to get knocked out, they got like Jared Goff. He about to get knocked out because his career about to be over. And you know what they don't want? I don't know if y'all realize this. You know what they don't want? They don't want Shedeur to be Jaden Daniels. Not only do they not want to, every time they turn on the TV on a Sunday night game, they prime spot, I think that's what is it Monday Night Football? Whatever the marquee games are. Whatever the marquee games are, they don't want to turn on the TV every time and see what?
Two black quarterbacks going head to head. In other words, they don't want to see Kansas and Philly. They don't want to see Washington and who else is it? I don't know. Somebody else. Green Bay. They don't want to turn on the TV and see the Tennessee Titans versus the Carolina Panthers. They don't want that. And they don't want that because they didn't want. I mean, if you look at it, it kind of now look a little fishy about Andrews dropping that ball because what did it prevent? It prevented Jalen Hurts, Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Jaden Daniels vying for the Super Bowl. And you know what? Even after people got over it, you know what I think these guys tell themselves? We'll be back next year. I told y'all, if you look at the division that Josh Allen is in, before Justin Fields went over there, it was wide open. It's like they intentionally cleared the path for him to get out. Just like at the top, and what's that, the AFC, they stacked four of them together. So at right underneath, while four is stacked at the top, right down below, on I think the end of AFC maybe or whatever one the Bills are in, it was wide open, and you could see it. You could see it, so they know, and they know that that's what they did, but they didn't have to do it at all. It's like they didn't factor in somebody could get hurt in week 2. It's like oh, they're gonna be healthy, so keep Shedeur out of there. That's what they did. And it started in 2024 when what happened at the Vegas Super Bowl, because Charles Woodson said it. Hey man, you still interested? They denied him initially. Why Cleveland? The team that was interested in Shedeur, that the GM said, no problems with Coach Prime. We think we'll be good. We pre-draft with Shedeur extensively. And what did the GM do? He flipped the script. Yeah, nothing will be given. He gonna have to earn this, that, and the other. And now he making his rounds. Like Charles Woodson made the rounds. Andrew Berry making his rounds. And guess what his story is? Oh yeah, we had already decided to trade Travis Hunter. Why they defending that? Because it's stupid to not keep him. So now they're saying, we knew we were trading that pick 2 weeks before. I'm like, I don't doubt it. But you knew you was drafting Shedeur before the owner went public and said, we took a big swing and missed with Deshaun Watson. And because I don't have ample free time to look at it and see, did they? Because what I did see is his starting record is 8-4. And if you're talking about him being hurt, then that's wrong. Because he got hurt working for you. So you can't say it's a disaster because he got hurt. It's a lot of quarterbacks get hurt. I don't hear y'all saying that about them. You see how they selectively downplay people? They never even had to defame Shedeur, especially the Giants, because why? Nobody thought you was going to draft him anyway. Not just because they've never had a black starting QB1, but because I knew you was waiting on Arch Manning. And so did a lot of other people. So what the hell did you even do that for? Because you wanted to protect your job. Because you knew you was drafting Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss, where it had already been publicly discussed that he hit his ceiling, and now everybody see it, like I said. That's why they did it. And that's why I got pissed off on my 4-hour live stream, because I instantly said, you defamed Shedeur Sanders because you wanted to draft Dart. And I was like, you didn't have to do that. That was evil. None of them should have jobs. The whole franchise ought to be sold off. I'm just going to be honest. None of them should have jobs. If the owner allows this type of maliciousness to occur, then he not paying attention, or either he a part of it, he got to go too. The whole franchise ought to just be pushed off in the ocean like some people want to do Florida. Seriously. What they did to Shedeur because they wanted Dart, who already hit his ceiling. So why were you hiding heavy after him if he can't even help you win? Which is why you trash Shedeur to try to protect your job, because you know he ain't good. That's crazy. When you sit down and look at that situation and the prank caller with Ole Miss, and I saw a headline yesterday that said the NFL fines the defensive coordinator for making his son making the prank call to Shedeur. We all know his son did not make that prank call. But you see how they lying? Who they protecting like that? I know his daughter, the GM's daughter, went to Ole Miss. Is that her boyfriend? Or is that somebody's kid? Overgrown kid. He in some fraternity down there, so somebody know his name. But you see how they, and it made me go back and ask. I was like, did they even release the information off that iPad, or are they lying? And it came directly in the email. See, now you got to go back and look at that. They find the Falcons, and it wasn't the Falcons. It was the NFL itself. They said they find the daddy because his son made the prank call. His son did not make the prank call. See, they told us all of this, I think, before the video came out. But the video came out the same day of the damn draft, so they was just lying. Bold face lying. Bold face lying. All for what? So you could keep Shedeur from coming to the Giants. We didn't think he was going there no way for multiple reasons. So you just exposed yourself in the NFL too, and now the Cleveland Browns. So the Giants, the Browns, the Saints, and the league itself in trouble. So I'm gonna get out of here. This was good. I can see we were 46 minutes in. Okay, I'm gonna go back and try to figure out how to really use this software. This came in for us as a backup, a QB2, if you will, and I'm glad I set it up earlier today. I'm gonna go in the comments and read y'all's comments, and we're gonna get ready to get out of here. Um, hit the like button for me. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Thank you so much. So yes, damage control, Miss Pamela. That's exactly what it was. I think they are. You think they are what? Hold on, let's see what they're saying. I think they are carrying. You think they are still carrying out the collusion? Yeah, absolutely. I said it. I said exactly what happened in the draft is now taking place in Cleveland. Why? Why they sticking to the script? And that's when I told you. I said, y'all say the owner likes Shedeur. I mean, he might as a person, but he still colluded against it. And I think he did more than that. I think he set him up from the jump and wanted him to think that they were going to draft him. So he was excited, confident, and a lock. And all the while, they knew they was going to drop him like a hot potato. And they did it when? We took a big swing and miss with Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson been in Cleveland since 2022. It is 2025. You knew that, if that's really what happened. Or you scapegoating him too. See, they don't mind scapegoating people. But only certain people seem to get scapegoated. Let's see who they scapegoat for Jackson Dart being down there in New York. And guess who got to start now? Russell Wilson. See how that works? See, they thought they was going to put Dart in Russ' place. Yeah, they did. They really did. Because people were saying it last week. It was a waste of time to get Winston and Russ when you got Dart, and then he go out there and get filmed doing what? Not just dancing, but stinking up the place. That's what happens when you go after mediocrity because that's what you want to do. So yes, you're absolutely correct. They still carrying out the collusion. Yep, that's why I said the Saints, the Giants. I'm gonna take Falcons off the list because I'm not sure any of that ever came out of Atlanta. I'm not sure that there was a real iPad story. They did scapegoat that family though, and I'm like, they wouldn't scapegoat my husband and my son like that. Somebody gonna have to give me about $5 million to shut the hell up. Cause that's crazy. Knowing his son didn't make the call, knowing that the league sent the number. It's like they made that story up and they chose Atlanta. Why? Because Coach Prime played in Atlanta. Oh, we don't like him. Okay, cool. He went on to win Super Bowls without you, right? No, nobody cares. It said, "Did you see Bucky's live?" I did. I did. He said something about a symbol. I didn't get the I was over here learning this software, so I didn't get to like focus in it, but I had it on playing at the time. And I heard him say there was some kind of symbol he got. I didn't know where it came from, or whatever. But I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it. Thank you. I am. Who's that? Marshall. Thank you so much. Okay, and it said who else? Oh, hey there, Alma. How you doing? It said good food. Hey, how you doing? Good food. Welcome back. Welcome back, Angela. Welcome back. Welcome back. The owner's son liked Dart and even put it out. Yeah, yeah. And he closed his page afterwards. And his IG name was quite interesting. I was like, is he the one that made the call? But I think his son is younger than that. It's somebody. It's not a coincidence his daughter and daughter went to Ole Miss. The Mannings, Ole Miss, Eli and Archie Manning, the patriarch of the family. And then you have those two who played for the Giants. None of it is, and it's not a coincidence that they scapegoating the other family, because that tell you who this is. It might not be a name, but there's something that they don't want the public to know about who that was. I already know he had executive level information. I already know Barry's the old, what is it, the defensive coordinator. His son didn't go to Ole Miss. His son did not go to Ole Miss. His son go to college in New Jersey, Barry College. His son didn't make the call. He didn't go to Ole Miss, and they refuse to act like they see the person talking to Shedeur on the phone with an Ole Miss sweatshirt on, with blonde hair that don't look nothing like the defensive coordinator's son. So they have intentionally chose to scapegoat these people and the Falcons franchise. Because if the NFL sent out the number, then when did the number get off the iPad? Oh, after the NFL sent it out. Well, if they sent it out in an email, he's trying to say, oh, he got the email and his son just looked it up, and Shedeur didn't even send out their number, his draft phone number, until 24 hours before the draft. That show was fast. That was fast. And they want us to think his iPad was just lingering around, and it went out to 2,000 people, didn't have a password on it, and his son just fell into it. Or is that a bold-faced lie? And it did go out via email, because that has been confirmed. And since almost 2,000 people, including equipment managers, got it, maybe somebody just printed it out that belonged to the Giants organization. And since they have a connection to Ole Miss, they just gave it to him. And they just lied on these people because they don't want whoever that young man is to get in trouble and us to find out who it is that he belongs to. But you best believe he belonged to somebody, because they're going through a lot to not talk about it and scapegoat other people. Good evening, good evening, good evening, Juanita. Thank you. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Thank you, Salafi. Thank you so much. Quay said, ASC. Hey, Quay, how you doing? It said there's 60 people watching. Can we get the more than 32 likes? Come on, y'all. We got to hit the like button. It's a lot happening to make this happen, and I think y'all see it tonight. We had to go 4 different routers and still never had to go on YouTube. But went to a backup that I already had good to go for a second podcast, which turns out to be this one, because something going on YouTube. And this one seems stable and good. So we just gonna, keep going here. And moderators can do their thing. Thank you, Kiel. Friday is a good day. Okay, Friday is a good day. What's a good time? So let's say if we do a private live stream on Friday, what's a good time? That's something we got to think about. I could just use the 12:30 for that if it works for everybody. If not, maybe we could do it like a 2 o'clock. So I'll put a message in the members only chat. And y'all, actually, you can just go there and drop the time that y'all think is good. Make sure you put it in, let me know if it's Central Time you suggested or Eastern Time, because we're not all in the same time zone. Thank you for that. And it said, truth is out there telling on themselves. Right. That's exactly what it is, Isaiah. They expose themselves for nothing. Because when they saw that there were 15 black QBs as starters in 2024, they went right into motion. But they already knew that. You know who's who at the end of the last season, which is why the Las Vegas Super Bowl is now in play. And I asked them, and how did I find out that I need to go back further than that? You know why? I mean, further than this. See, I thought it was just this Super Bowl because I heard what Goodell said. But then I realized Shedeur was already there. So when they talking about his celebrity is a problem and all this, I'm like, he was in your NFL flag football game. So that's a lie. And then Charles Woodson. I'm like, now when this took place? And then I noticed how they sent him out there. But remember, I reported on it the day before the owners went to their owners meeting in Minnesota and voted on it, which meant they leaked it out 4 days before I talked about it and a day before they voted on it, which meant I knew it was something about that. And it was. And that's why he was making a point to say, or the reporter was making a point to ask him, now, when did this all come about? That's all they wanted to do. And I said, they getting their ducks in a row. And I think Terrell Pryor is a part of that, because we just covered Terrell Pryor and we talked about what happened to Terrell Pryor. And it's not a coincidence. In my personal opinion, he played for 6 teams. Not just the Browns, but that's who Shedeur played for. And his best season was with the Raiders as a QB, and that's not the one they profiled. They intentionally talked about he went for 1,000 yards after he switched to wide receiver. After we talked about why he had to be a wide receiver. Because when he asked for a trade, and this was after he had balled out, they benched him and put in an undrafted free agent, which is exactly what's happening in Cleveland. Shadeur was the best one, but they were talking about Kirk Cousins, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel. Flacco, he outplay all of them. That's the same thing that happened to Terrell Pryor, but see, here's what they did. He wanted to switch position. He wanted to go to another team. Suddenly, 32 teams, or however many they had back then, suddenly, no team needed a quarterback. So if you want to stay in the NFL, you got to be a wide receiver. That was the era they were switching these guys off, and that goes all the way back. Warren Moon went to Canada so he wouldn't be devalued in the draft, something we just saw with Shedeur. Devalued in the draft. Milroe too. And now Cam, we don't hear nothing. This is about black quarterbacks. 17 to 32, Shedeur was the chosen one because the story fit. We don't even know Milroe's father. It wouldn't have worked. Thank y'all so much, moderators, for holding it down. It says, sis, be putting work. Yeah, it said be putting work. Thank you so much, Isaiah. I mean, yeah, I do. I actually work on this stuff. I do. And I was very surprised to see them talk about Terrell. I was very, very, very surprised. And they tagged him too. I was like, I don't believe in coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence at all. The Egyptian queen, I was waiting on the other one, but I found you. Oh, thank you. See, it's still up there. I don't even know. Yeah, we couldn't get on there. And I was telling them I was testing out the platform we're on now. When you were the one, you came into the comments, and I don't know if you saw my message. I was like, did you get a notification for this? Because I made it unlisted so nobody could see it, so I could try to set everything up. But I'm glad that worked out, though. Cleveland Browns are training Shedeur behind the scenes to be their future QB. Yeah, and we don't mean next year because they could trade him after he sits on the bench, and there is absolutely nobody at all that's not associated with that madness in Cleveland that believes Shedeur Sanders should be benched this year. That's going to be a problem, and that's what they're trying to do. They do not want him to get nowhere near QB1, and he's visibly the best person. And who now believes? The haters now see, oh yeah, he the best one they got. He good. Green shirt changed his stripes, and people like him. And now they happy because now they see a way. And Shedeur is that path. We're gonna see what they do. Hey 22, welcome, welcome, welcome. Isaiah said he believes that too, that they training Shedeur behind the scenes. We're gonna see. Ronald said, yeah. It said, yo, sis, we appreciate you and all the hard work that you're doing. Thank you. I think you should link up with B Watts, and we talked about that. It's a good idea, Chris, but everybody got their own thing. I want y'all to know, people know I'm out here. People know I'm out here. So, and be honest with you, I'm pretty transparent. Some people might not want that because they might be like, well, they want certain things and they want to go to the Super Bowl. They want to get on the field at CU. I mean, I just think sometimes it's just best for me just stay solo unless they come my way because I have reached out to people. I haven't heard back. So I'm going to just let it be. And we talked about that on this podcast. It was like, just keep doing you. Just keep doing you. So thank you for that, Chris. They know I'm out here. It says, David, the world is changing. They can't do nothing about it. That's facts. But they clearly thought they could. And now they didn't even need to. And they ought to feel like this. And I bet that they do. I bet. That's why I say he don't get his money. If they want to make this go away, you know what they need to do? Just go write him a check for $100 million right now. Just go head on. All we need to see is a bunch of owners when they get to camp or training camp. A bunch of owners just need to come on down after they done wired them $100 million flat cash. I'm serious. After tax. So whatever that is, he shouldn't have to pay no taxes. So he needs to end up with net $100 million in his bank account, wired to him. And then they all need to descend upon Cleveland. Like they say, they incestuous, they do everything together. Then all y'all need to fly on down there to Cleveland. And we need to see y'all being nice to him. If you want this to go away, that's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. Because, I got a lot more to go. And so do other people. I mean, the history is out there. We just telling it. And clearly they don't want that. So now they out here taking Terrell Pryor's story. And I'm like, I know I got to be one of the few people recently who brought up Terrell Pryor. I don't think that's a coincidence. And then they brought up his Cleveland days. I don't. Y'all think it's a coincidence? Do y'all think it's honestly? Do y'all think it's just a huge coincidence that they decide to, after he switched to wide receiver, 1,000 passing yards, he actually had, 1,000 receiving yards. He actually had more passing yards, but they did not show him as a quarterback because they don't want to talk about what we talked about, that they colluded against him too. And I think that's why they're talking about it. So, yep, the world is changing. They can't do nothing about it. And now they see that. See, you can tell these guys. And if you notice, a lot of these guys don't keep up with their social media. And see, that's where they're going to mess up. But see, Shedeur and Shiloh's social media, his YouTube is buzzing. He got like 200,000 views, 100,000 views. He got like 400,000 views, I think, on that golf thing or something else. I'm like, Shiloh getting Bucky numbers. So that means he going to get Bucky money. And now they saying nice things about him. The coach is once again saying nice things about him. I haven't heard nobody else say anything. Coach saying his work ethic is amazing. He's pro ready. Coach Prime taught them, developed them what? The way you practice is the way you play. So it's not a strange phenomenon for them to be intense and ball out in practice. They would develop that way. And Coach Prime should get credit for that. So if the NFL want to make them right, they need to ask Shedeur what the hell his routing number is and his account number, so they can go ahead on and wire him after taxes $100 million and go down there and let everybody see that y'all being genuine and apologize to that young man. That's how you make this. That's how we move forward. So that's what they need to do. Thank you so much. It said, yeah, so that Shiloh balling out, he make it. I'm like, Shiloh for to make bucket money. His numbers, y'all looked at his page? Look at his YouTube page. You're gonna be like, man. And the rest of these players, see, to me, it's crazy to come out of this NIL class, the one where you have kids now. They got $1 million deals. Did y'all hear about the black softball player, the young lady? She got $1 million deal, $1 million NIL deal. That's becoming the norm. Yeah, they're gonna have to look at it, and that's a whole nother conversation. Part two of the NIL that we talked about. She got $1 million NIL deal. You know how happy I am? We barely hear anything about softball. And the sad thing is, some of these HBCUs are canceling their gymnastics program after these girls been winning. I said, now see, that's not right. Cause all this time, nobody cared. And they just got gymnastics. And these girls balling out. They have no problem getting stars to come. They winning these tournaments on the larger scale. They're not just competing with HBCUs. And now Fisk is like, well, we're gonna have to discontinue the program. I'm like, see, that's what I don't like. Why do you have to bow to the pressure? This is working for you. People are talking about your school and they winning against the best. And they are now the best. And now you're gonna fold your gymnastics program because they winning. Why you have to give into the pressure? And as an HBCU grad, that upsets me. That upsets me. So for the people that like to donate large 7-figure sums See what y'all can do with Fitz, because that's crazy. I'm like, these girls are winning, and you can't keep it going. Always something. You can't fight every fight. Some people got to fight this fight. Some people got to fight that fight. This the one I fight. But Shiloh, it looked like he's starting to make bucket money, and I ain't mad. And the rest of them guys better get on it. Imagine you not doing no NIL because you scared the league is gonna be mad because of what they did with the Shedeur. And you like, you know what? I ain't gonna even worry about my Instagram. Okay, so when you get to be 26 and they get rid of you and it cuts you before you get that retirement money, don't say nothing because you like Shiloh, you could be making that kind of money. So it when they say cut you, cool, go on out there and start your podcast like all these basketball players have done. Anybody notice that in the sports world? Basketball players are dominating. Retired basketball players are dominating. Hell, LeBron still played and have a podcast. Dominating. It's some football out there, but it should be more. So it seemed like the mentality was ingrained in them, and they even after they playing days, they just pick up a damn camera and press record. And the ones that just got there, you see Shadeur still doing his Twitch. You see Shiloh got Bucky numbers on YouTube and Twitch. Y'all better follow suit. Cause if he don't make the team, he good. He probably gonna make more money on social media than he is going to make with this contract. And that's why he probably like own it. Cause he know that. Y'all better do the same thing. Let them people punk y'all. Shadeur doesn't seem happy. No, he did seem happy the last time we saw him. Because he did his the Shadeur. People been posting it saying, oh, the Shadeur is back. That's all we needed. That's all we needed. As a podcast community, we said what? 91 of us, please hit the like button. Please, please, please hit the like button. As a podcast community, we said that was all we needed. That means we know he good. So we not worried about anything. And he left and went to wherever, and it said, thank you for an opportunity. I expect him to be back in Cleveland. I expect him to play, and I expect him to start at some point. And I am of the opinion that Flacco need to go ahead on and start because I need to see what that O-line do. And then Shadeur can take from the reins because Flacco has not played a full season since 2017. In 2 years, it will be 2027. That's almost 10 years. And he got injured and took a hit, not too far different from the one that Pat Mahomes took in the Super Bowl. It wasn't as intense. And he had to miss the last game. And they handed the baton not to the 3 quarterbacks that they rotated through 7 games and produced a winning record to a relative unknown that didn't even play. That's poor coaching. Cut the check. Yup, cut the check. Get that man his money. Because this ain't going to get no better. That plantation just going to keep burning. And guess who got the lighter fluid? So the Egyptian queen, thank you, thank you, thank you. And Ronald, yep. No, Shadeur, he seemed fine. I mean, unless y'all mean recently, are y'all talking about today when he was on Twitch? Let me know what y'all talking about. I agree. Flacco, then Shadeur. Yep, that's what I want to see. And I need them jerseys to come on with it. And I need the number 2. Andre Carter is 3rd string on the depth chart. So I don't know. Do 3rd string people on the depth chart typically make the team? Let me know. Because that means if he get the goal, we're going to get that jersey. Now, if Shadeur end up with that 2, he definitely starting. But I don't want it to be week 1. I don't want, no. No. Not even preseason. Let Dylan start. Just let him start. Shadeur need to go after everybody else so we can see some consistency and know that they have an O-line because they did not last year. And they didn't address it in the draft. They went the cheap route. They got backups. They didn't get no starters. And I don't like that. Because even if Shadeur wasn't there, why would you do that? Because what? They're running 2 running back sets. They want to be a run-heavy team, which means we probably won't see Shadeur as much as we would like. But I just want to see what the O-line do. And they could start Dylan. They could start Flacco. They could bring in damn Kirk Cousins if they want to. They could let all of them go first. But just like Shadeur emerged as the best player and the winner of OTAs, he gonna do the same thing in the season. But let the other ones go first. I need to see something. So we gonna get out of here. I think I got everybody's comments. Chandra said, "Good evening." What she said, sports in chat. It said late joining. That's okay. That's okay. We just happy you came, Chandra. Thank you so much. And then it says he can make the practice squad. Shadeur will not be on that practice squad. He better not be on that practice squad. Oh, I'm not playing. No. Nah, he too good for that. Hell no. Mm-mm. He better go to Canada first, like Warren Moon did. No, absolutely not. See, the problem is they want to stick to he was drafted in the 5th round, and people are wearing them down. As of when after OTAs wrapped up, like the one where we all saw it after it was closed that Wednesday. After that, people didn't need to see nothing else. They're like, nope, I'm good. I'm good. He should start. He's your best. He's your franchise QB. He's your starter. And why are they fighting it? Because in 2024, 15 black quarterbacks led 15 out of 32 franchises. Therefore, in 2025, when it was time to draft some quarterbacks, 16 puts it at half. 17, the second quarterback in the draft that is black, that would be a QB1 in the 1st round, would make black QB1s starters the majority of all starters for quarterbacks in the NFL. Y'all have no idea how much of a feat that is, considering the barriers and the hell that they have been through just to play a game that they love, because people didn't want them to be the face of a franchise or the kings of the NFL. Hell no. Shedeur better not be on no damn practice squad. Next up, we talking about Kordell Stewart. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Thank y'all so much. Please, please, please hit the like button on your way out. We found a new platform. We will be back tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank y'all so much. This was awesome. They are fighting it, trying to control the diabolical narrative. Yeah, and stick to the script. Yup, they try to stick to the script. I cannot wait till this conversation that we're having in this chat grows outside of this chat and other people pick it up. But it seems like it's already starting. I've heard two different podcasters. One guy is proving why Shedeur was going to be drafted in the 1st round. And another group of people are pushing back on getting these old QBs in front of Shedeur Sanders by asking, why y'all getting all these old QBs? That's what I need to happen, and that's what's going to happen this week. They're going to catch up to us because the NFL caught up to us and posted about Terrell Pryor today from the wide receiver perspective. And people in the chat want to know why they didn't post about him from his absolute best season with the Raiders as a quarterback. That's what we talked about. So if the NFL caught up to us, all these big box networks and everybody else going to catch up to us too. So thank y'all for hanging out with me tonight. That's What She Said Sports was awesome. We'll be back tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for lunch and stream, talking about the latest hot topic. All right. Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a good night. It said they are watching you. I believe so. I believe so, Tina. I think a lot of people are actually. I hear certain things, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Because, see, one thing I know, I expect you to take what I'm saying and run with it. Good job. So I'm good. I'm good. Because that's how it should be. That if it's the truth, you should not be afraid to share it. And that's the whole point. That's the whole point of it. And I watch other people too, because, I have respect, for people who've been doing this and, people who, like me, they enjoy it. And, I'm cool with it. And that's what I expect to see. So we'll see what they catch up to us about next week. But we will be back tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Members, make sure you become a member. We have enough members to start private live streams. That's something I have been wanting to do, and we finally made it. Thank you for the newest members, Jackie, Priscilla, and Nalavia. Thank y'all so much for getting us there. Private live streams coming near you. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. And when I say private live streams, I mean members only live streams. So make sure you join the squad, What She Says Sports, so you can be in on those conversations. Because if this is what I can say in the public, there are some things that will be discussed that we're going to keep within, in-house. All right. Have a good one. Have a good night. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See y'all tomorrow.